So if you have a reselling business, maybe more specifically eBay, you have a reselling business and you are wondering what is going on with it? Why are you not making the sales that you know you should be making? Why are people not buying your stuff? Why is it sitting there? What is going on? I can help you with that. So stick around. Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm the e-commerce mom. You can find me at theecommercemom.com or right here on YouTube. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel because I am going to teach you all about building an e-commerce business and managing your motherhood at the same time. And so today we are going to talk about our reselling businesses, specifically eBay, but this really applies to lots of different platforms. You can use the same principles. Now, if you are not making the profit that you know you should be, and things are not going the way they should be going, then I'm going to tell you about 7 things that any successful eBay store needs. So the first one, let's talk about 7 key elements of your eBay store, or really any e-commerce reselling platform. The first one is photos. How are you taking photos? What do they look like? Now, before I moved, I had a very well set up area for photos. I had great lighting. I had a photo booth. I had all those things. Now I don't have that. And so what I do is I use the old mat board and science project board trick like a lot of people use, and I set it where it's facing 2 big windows in my kitchen. On my kitchen table, I take my photos and I edit them in an app called Pick Tap Go for Android, but there are also similar apps, I'm sure, on iPhone. And my pictures turn out really well. I take them on a day when it is sunny and everything turns out really well. My pictures look great. You do not have to have a bunch of fancy equipment to be able to take pictures, but if your pictures are dark and your pictures have lots of stuff in the background that has nothing to do with what you're selling, then that's going to be very distracting. I've taken pictures on wooden floor before. I have taken pictures, places, maybe a hanger hanging on the back of a white door. I have done those things, and as long as your picture is cropped well, your pictures are square, there shouldn't be a problem. Now, of course, you might want a little nicer photo setup than that, right? But sometimes we don't have the luxury of that. I don't have the luxury of the space that I used to use anymore. I don't. And so we do with what we have. But just make sure your pictures are square and that there is not a lot of negative space, meaning there's not a lot of blank, empty space around your item. You want them to be cropped well and to look nice and be bright without distracting stuff in the background. Number 2, what do your titles look like? Do you have the words like cute and look and wow and awesome and all those kind of distracting things in there that really has nothing to do with how your item is going to be found in search, because no one is going to search for those titles. So make sure that your titles are clear. Maybe start with the brand name, or maybe start with the type of item that you have, and watch eBay. When you put in a term in the search bar, what populates? That tells you how people are searching for things. Sometimes it's more of a generic term first, and then sometimes it's also the brand name first. But watch what pops up as you start typing things in. Those are the types of things that you should use. Or you can also go to the sold listings, not just the completeds, but the sold listings, and see what items have sold recently for top dollar, or if you're auctioning, the ones that have had a lot of bids and seem like they're very active, and hit sell similar and sell those and use their titles. Of course, editing them to change sizes or any other particular things about your items that you have different from theirs. But that is also something that is very important, to make sure that your titles are searchable and that they are for what people are searching for, right? Number 3, your product mix. So are you selling items that are all $200 or $300 or more? Are you selling items that are all $5 or more? Or maybe $5 or less? Are you selling really cheap things? Are you selling things that are $10 and $20? I have always had my store where I have a variety of things so that I can sell to more than one person. That may not be the way you set your store up. You may set your store up to where you have a $50 or $60 minimum so that everything that sells for a really high price, and you feel like you're leveraging your time that way. That is an excellent way to set up a store, by the way, because it takes just as much time to list a $100 item as it does a $1 item. Now, if you are selling things that are really, really cheap and your average selling price is low, then you are going to have to sell a lot more of those. You're going to have to do a really high volume business. And so, you could have a lot of something and the market be flooded and it not move. So think about, what product mix do you have? Do you have items of all price ranges? I would say your minimum should be about $20, and you could go from $20 all the way to $200 or $300 for an item or more, depending on what you're selling. But having a diversified product mix helps you sell more items because more people are able to buy the items that you have. Number 4 is business policies. How are you handling yourself when it comes to your business? First of all, you need to know what the rules are on the platforms that you're selling on. Which items are prohibited? Which items can't you sell? Which brands will not allow you to sell their items there? You need to know those things. You need to know the rules of the platform that you're selling on. If you need to know the rules, if you have a 1-day handling time, that means you ship out in 1 business day. If you have a 3-day handling time, that means you ship out in 3 business days and not in a week or something crazy like that. Like, you need to know the rules of where you're selling. You also need to know how you're going to handle returns, because you have to take returns. Any store that you go to takes returns. That's just the way of the world. And so for the people that are, I don't want to take returns, you take returns. Just take them, because you're going to have to anyway. If you don't want to take a return, your customer, especially on eBay, is going to say that the item is not as described. Even if it is, you'll be forced to take it, and you'll actually have to pay for the shipping back. Whereas if you just take returns and they get it doesn't fit and they pay to ship it back, hey, it's on them, right? But if you box them into a corner, they're going to end up saying that it's not as described and get you to pay to send it back. That's just the way it's going to be. Now, some people take free shipping as a very serious thing, and they think that's what they need to do for their business. Some people don't. I can't tell you what to do or not do, but I sell a lot of hard goods and I couldn't afford to ship the stuff back. Now, if I was doing clothing, that would be a different story. So you have to think about your business model and how that works for you. But one way to avoid the whole returns thing is to very, very, very clearly describe your item, take great pictures, put measurements in, and that will help you to be able to avoid a lot of issues that you're going to have. Now, are you going to be able to avoid returns always? No, you're not. So the next thing is number 5, sell-through rate. What's the sell-through rate of the items that you're selling? If you are selling junk, it's not going to, okay, if you are listing junk, I shouldn't say if you're selling junk. That doesn't make sense in the context that I'm going to use it. If you are listing junk, nobody's going to buy your junk. I'm just going to tell you right now, nobody's going to buy the junk that you're trying to put out there, and nobody wants it if it's garbage. And that sounds really harsh, but if somebody says, so, hey, can you take a look at my store and tell me what's going on? And I look at it, and I'm going to find a nice way to say that it's all garbage. But, it puts you in an awkward situation, because you're like, oh, this is trash. Like, this needs to go to the trash or to be donated, because it's garage sale stuff. And it's not stuff that you should be putting on eBay. So, and not saying that you can't source your eBay stuff at garage sales. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, like, stuff that you would get rid of at a garage sale for a quarter, it's not worth listing. You need to make sure that the stuff that you have is actually selling on eBay. And the way you can do that is go to eBay and search for whatever it is you have to sell. Look at how many listings are active. Then go to the completed listings on the left-hand side and click that. How many have completed? How many have expired in the last 90 days? And then look at how many have sold. So click the sold listings. If there are like 10,000 items that have completed and like 500 of them have sold, then that's not something that you need to sell. If you go look at something, for example, I'm going to give you a good thing to look up. This is a BOLO, and I've used this example a lot, but look up the game Hero Quest. It's a board game, and it also has expansion packs. It's a role-playing game, something kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, and it has an excellent sell-through. Like, almost all of them that are listed sell. That is the kind of thing, and they sell for really good money too. That is the kind of thing that you want to find. You don't want to find the thing that nobody's buying very many of them, unless you just want to store a lot of inventory. If you want to store a lot of inventory, that's okay. But if you're saying that you're not making any money and you're having sales, the things that you are listing may not be desirable to anyone. It may mean that there's nothing wrong with them, that they're in great condition, that you paid almost nothing for them. But if they're not desirable to people, then it's really not worth your time to list. And if you're a mom that is selling, and doing this kind of stuff during nap time, you have to make the time that you have count. And so the sell-through rate is very important. Number 6 is pricing. How are you pricing your items? I know a lot of times when people sell like houses and property, they have like this emotional attachment to them and they price them really high, or they price them for what they need to get out of them, right? But you can't price stuff that way. You can't say, well, I paid $20 for it and I have to sell it for at least $40. Well, if it's worth $25, it's probably not going to sell for $40. So you make the initial money on the buy. You make the money when you buy it. You have to buy it really well, because if you buy it cheap, then you're not really out that much money and you don't really have to worry about like getting the return, right? But if you pay too much for it in the beginning, there's nothing that you can go back and do about that. And there's no way that you're going to get out of it on top. So you have to make sure that you buy at the right price, and you have to make sure that you're priced right. And sometimes prices change. Like prices are fluid on Amazon, and prices are also fluid on eBay and any other platform. Prices change. So a good practice to get into doing is going back through your old listings and looking at the solds, because hey, your item might be underpriced at some point, and then someone comes along and goes, why is theirs so much cheaper? If the prices have gone up and they go, wow, why is there so much cheaper? It's cheaper because you haven't readjusted your prices, and maybe you're too high. Maybe when you listed something, it was like super, super popular and everybody had to buy it, and like now it's not super, super popular and not very many people need it, and you need to reduce the price. That's why I'm saying it's very important to buy as inexpensively as you can, because prices do fluctuate, and that happens with the seasons. It happens with, the economy. It happens with lots of things going on in the world. And, toward the end of the year, things will be way more expensive than they will be, during the summer. So just take that into account when you are trying to figure out why things are not selling. And number 7, the last one, let's talk about shipping. So for shipping, do you have your shipping prices like really crazy high? You also want to evaluate if they're too low. You don't want to be paying extra money for shipping out of your profits, because that's not going to work. But shipping is one of those things that is very complicated, and it can be very intimidating. To me, the best way to do shipping is to just do calculated shipping on eBay, right? Just figure out what kind of shipping you want to offer, figure out the type of shipping that you need to offer for that item, because not all items can be shipped all ways. But you can do a lot of things to cut down on your shipping prices. Use recycled boxes, use free boxes from the USPS, and you can use a good quality tape, so you're not using 3 times as much tape as you need to, just to make sure that it all sticks together. Ask people to save boxes for you. There's probably places that you work, or places that other people that work, that throw out shipping supplies. When shipments come in, ask them to save them for you. You come pick them up once a week or whatever. Those are ways that you can get around the cost, as far as the cost to you. Also, eBay gives you a free store coupon if you have a store subscription to their shipping store, and you get a certain amount of money per month, per quarter, in free shipping supplies. So don't let that expire and not use it, because I've done that a couple of times accidentally. So keep that shipping low. Now eBay is also offering shipping with UPS, which they haven't done in the past, and I have saved quite a bit that way. So just FedEx used to be my go-to, but actually UPS is cheaper. I also use Pirate Ship, and Pirate Ship is a great way to avail yourself of cubic shipping. There are certain packages that will qualify for cubic shipping, and it will be a lot cheaper than the regular eBay prices. And you may want to compare. If it is a smaller package under, I think, about 3 or 4 pounds, you can use cubic shipping, and it would be a lot cheaper. So If you need help with your store and you go, oh my gosh, I can't figure it out, let me know. I have a link in the description. I will do a store review for you. It gives you information all about that. If you need extra help, I also do coaching, and there will be a link in the description for that for you too. And I will link some things about shipping and other stuff, the supplies that I use, where I get them from, and how to use pirate ship and all that stuff. There'll be a lot of stuff in the description to help you out if you feel like that you just cannot get past that hump, and you're just like, I know she said all these things to check, but I can't figure all that out. There will be a blog post in the description, and there will be information on how to contact me, and I will be happy to do a store review for you. So I hope this video was very helpful, and I will see you all next time.